That's how it's supposed to be, folks. The inner bushing is nice and flush with this ring, and the roll pin keeps it from spinning, but also this acts to keep it from cantilevering off the roll pin and shearing the roll pin. So now it's all set, and all I have to do, I put in the freeze plug, is I'll tack weld that in 4 spots like the factory, and then I'm going to silicone it, seal it just for extra caution. Tack welding of the freeze cap is all done, ready to be primed and painted, and then epoxied, siliconed. Well, the new freeze plug is in, everything's coated with epoxy, the new seal's in, and everything's greased up, and now it's time to put the steering knuckle back on. Well, the steering knuckle's back on, everything's greased, new seals are in, and it's quite a preload. I'd guess 40 pounds to try and move that thing. So it's a little snug, but believe it or not, you're supposed to put a dial indicator on the top of that housing, and then as you load and unload the axle from the bottom, you're supposed to watch for relative motion between the casting and the top of the axle itself. And that was done. This is all set up correctly. Oh, it's a little snug. These Rockwell axles even have Zerk fittings, you can see it right here, on the spindle. Now, there's the axle shaft ready to go, and the spindle will go on. So this bearing surface, and there's a triple lip seal right there that pressed on, will ride in here is a triple lip seal, and then there's bronze to take the thrust, right? And believe it or not, there's actually a little felt wiper in here. I managed to get the part number 4, and a Zerk fitting. So it's not just put together and forget it. You can put together and lube it. The spindle is on and greased and all set for the wheel. Secret here is to tighten them up as you spin it, maybe 150 foot-pounds, and then back it off. That snugs up the bearing, and then about an 1/8 of a turn, 1/16 of a turn is all you want to back it off. One of the most useful inventions known to man. But this hex wrench isn't going to be used as a hex wrench. It's going to be used to pull this off. Didn't quite fit. We'll flip it 180 and see if it lines up. Nope, not quite. Just a little time saver. Otherwise, is it a pain getting that thing in and out. Rather back off and go tight. Yeah, man. Okay, there we go. Lined right up on the hole. And now we can put the final nut on and torque it up. For that, 1/2-inch air gun is all you need. Although it's supposed to be like 325 foot-pounds, believe it or not. So I set it on high and go for it. We're home. Well, the rotor is on, everything's locked down. Now it's time for the locking hub. I put some sealant, liquid brushed on sealant on that surface to make sure that nothing gets in the back of it. Now with a little bit of luck, I could get all these in. And again, they're all epoxy coated. Except one. I missed one. So, I'll pick that one up when I get back into the sandblast chamber. Always make sure that this seal here has some Vaseline or grease on it of some sort, right? So you can turn the hub easily, and that's what keeps the water out, of course. There's a secondary groove, not for the O-ring, but for these screws. So these screws are actually just little dowels, if you would, that keep the hub from popping off. Okay. There you go. And now it's locked. You hear that nice solid click? That's what you want. Unlocked. By the way, a lot of times if you lock it, if you don't happen to hear the click, I actually grab the drive shaft and move it a little until I hear click, click before I put everything in gear. Otherwise the splines might be, instead of fully engaged, sometimes they might just like that. So you want them full before you actually load her up. It's a good idea to shake the drive shaft or roll it back and forth once or twice in neutral. There we go. I always put a little never seize on the caliper slider pin. You lift it up, and it goes right in here. Brass hammer. Then you have to put in retaining screws. Just before you put the wheel on, don't forget this plastic spacer. They're about 30 mils thick. Get them from any truck shop. And when that goes on, it'll keep the rim from rusting against the backing plate on the hub.